Hello, this is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, November 3rd. We have extended our fire potential briefings for one more week given the fire activity across the southern portion of the Great Basin. And this kind of tells why. Past 24 hours on the right-hand side, several hundred lightning strikes across southern areas of Utah, Nevada, the Arizona Strip. On the left-hand side, precipitation much lighter and more widely scattered or even isolated, so a lot of dry lightning strikes. New fire starts are in the red, moderate to locally heavy initial attack across parts of southern Nevada, southwest Utah, the Arizona Strip, and even parts of Idaho as well. Looking at some of our observed precipitation, very dry the last 7 days. You can see here on the left-hand side. Fuels in some of the areas on the left where we did have some of the lightning, you can kind of zero in the middle of the circle, and where the arrow is, you can kind of see that we are at the 90th percentile still on our ERCs. We stretch it back across, that intersects when we normally peak with our ERCs in July. And even in parts of the eastern Snake River Plain, you can see the ERCs on the rise very quickly at record levels for this time of year, and probably if you draw a line extending it back to the left, similar to what we normally have in late September. So dryness still abounds. You can see that on the 10-hour fuels. The areas in red are 3 to 4% on the 10-hour fuels, can easily burn. ERC Point Map has been continued for the rest of the week. You see our driest areas in the 80th to 90th percentile across parts of Utah, stretching on down south, and lots of 70th to 80th percentiles where you see the oranges, and a lot of that does shift over into at least the lower elevations of southern Idaho. Satellite imagery shows still some moisture this morning rotating up from southern Idaho and into parts of central and eastern Utah. That will blossom some more convection, some more thunderstorms, and mix of dry and some low-end wet lightning across some eastern areas, so we could see new starts across parts of Utah. Elsewhere, just on the clear side, temperatures a little warmer than normal. Storm system well off to the Pacific Northwest. That one stays to our north, but this storm here in the upper left-hand corner is what is expected by our computer models to drop down for the weekend, with a sharp change to much colder, much wetter, and in many places a much whiter weather. So for today, here's the 7-day map. You can see a broad northwest flow and cool temperatures across Idaho, but near seasonable elsewhere. You can see the dryness in the air mass across the southern third of the geographic area. It kind of corresponds where we still have critically dry fuels in the south, and a kind of a mixture further north, and still in the deep moisture across the mountains of Idaho. For today, you see the humidity pretty dry everywhere. Low 20% range in the north, teens in the south. Winds today not that big of a deal, but we will see some of that lightning across eastern Utah. That'll be the big concern. Now for Wednesday, deep low over the northern Rockies, some winds across Idaho, moderately breezy everywhere else. You can see how much that dryness expands further northwards, and on the right-hand side, you can see the humidity quite dry in Nevada in the teens, and even teens to near 20% in southern Idaho. On the left-hand side, you see the gustier winds in the orange, gusting to near 30 miles per hour up there, albeit higher humidity. Much lighter winds further south. Now, on Thursday, we see this big blob of moisture starting to head our way, but before that happens, we are in the drier air. We'll notice winds start picking up out of the northwest, given by the tightness of these yellow height lines through here. On the right-hand side, here's our dryness level. You see the winds picking up here in Idaho, and even starting to pick up in parts of northern Nevada, maybe 12 to 22 miles per hour in the green. Relative humidity remains dry across Nevada in the low to mid-teens, upper teens to low 20s in Utah, and low to mid-20s in Idaho. Now the 3-day precipitation through Friday morning shows a good swath of wetting rains heading into western Idaho, the far northwest corner of Nevada, poised to move into our area this weekend. But until Friday, we stay dry, and that may pose a problem Friday. Most of the moisture with the storm system hits the northern portion of the Great Basin first. Here we see the green in Idaho and into Wyoming. The dryness still remains across the southern half of the Great Basin. Even though there's moistening over Nevada, there's still dryness through here. We have not issued high risk yet. We'll have to watch the situation very carefully because we got some really strong winds just ahead of the front in the purple and brown, indicating 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. Humidity south of a line here from the 20s down into the low teens in the southern third, the southern half of Nevada and Utah. So some of those winds will coincide with the lower humidity, and also some existing fires from the recent lightning also will need to be monitored. That all changes on Saturday. Deep green everywhere. The low drops down. Hard to see here, but there'll be lots of moisture deposited. And continuing on Sunday, colder air pushing in. Dry air coming in behind this across parts of Nevada. We'll have to watch and see if these northerly winds here on Monday create a terrain-driven, locally strong winds and low humidity across the Spring Mountains and the Vegas area, and maybe down into far southwest Utah and the Arizona Strip. But they could see some moisture ahead of that. Otherwise, no significant problems. If the computer model projections of this kind of precipitation through the latter half of the weekend hold, then many areas will be put to bed. You can see some of the accumulations through here. A lot of this will be in the form of snow, especially above 5,000 feet. The 8 to 14, the outlook shows promising conditions of cooler than normal conditions, also wetter than normal from about the Highway 50 corridor on northwards and normal elsewhere. So hopefully after this dry, breezy week, we can finally get some more season-ending type weather later on in week 2. This concludes our briefing. Again, we'll issue these fire potential briefings through Friday. We'll wait and see how the weekend precipitation affects the region. Have a great day.